Good morning, everyone. We are Mortgage Pros 411. I am Audrey Boissonou, and this is my co-host, Kevin Casey. We are joined today by the lovely and wonderful Katey DeLasto. How are you, Katey?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me on again.
I mean, who's this perky as early as it in the morning as it is in Hawaii? For God's sake.
Was it?
Yes, well, you know what you got to do.
Okay, so I just want to start with a couple months ago, I did this little weekend extravaganza, and at the end of it, that Katey had highly recommended, at the end of it, she gave me a few presents, and one of them was a calendar, which every day there's some random fact. So in honor of Katey being with us today, I want to read yesterday's. Sears once sold houses. We know this, but we always forget, right? I mean, think about it. You could buy a house in the Sears catalog. Isn't that crazy? And by the way,
and they would deliver it.
When I first started,
Amazon wasn't around. I don't know how they got it there, but they got it there.
When I first started reading these, I was Googling, I'm like, that cannot be true. There cannot be a million Chinese people living underneath the streets of Beijing. And it would be true, right? So this other one that I meant to read, I actually had talked to Julian Joseph last week about reading this one. Because the previous time that Julian Joseph with FHA had been on our show, it had been, I think, of the World Series or something. We were talking soccer. So last week's was in 1967, the Nigerian Civil War ground to a halt for 2 days. Guess why? Because both sides wanted to watch Pele play soccer. I mean, that's when war was a lot more civilized, don't you think? I mean, good grief. Now nobody stops a war for a soccer game for. I mean, honestly, what is the world coming to?
That is hilarious. I love it.
Isn't that crazy? But that's the kind of stuff that we're looking at. All right. So kids, we are going to have a few things happening this week that are notable. Tomorrow and Thursday, just for the record, Jerome Powell, our buddy Jerome Powell, will be speaking to the House on Wednesday, Senate on Thursday, for the Joint Economic Committee meeting, and he'll have the same speech both days, but there will be a Q&A after each one, which will make them different. So just keep it.
Why couldn't he just give the same speech once to the both committees?
Listen, don't you talk about efficiency.
Whoa. We're not having efficiencies in our government now. That would make sense. Please. What are you thinking?
Plus, we're in the mortgage business. Nobody expects that. And then on Wednesday, there's a 20-year bond auction. That always is a fun thing to watch. And Thursday, we will have existing home sales. So we had the builders come out. Builders are building more homes. Finally. So, God knows it'll take a while to get them actually built, but at least they're thinking about it, talking about it. They're a little more optimistic. That's something. Purchase and refi apps were up in the last week. That's something. What's interesting, and Katey, just bear with us for a minute. At the Fed meeting last week, so they didn't change the rates, right? So you would think that would be really great. We had these great inflation numbers. Everything should be hunky-dory, but it's not. So I just want to talk just for a minute about why that is. So what's happening from what I'm reading is the Fed keeps changing directions. They started off saying their goal was they wanted a headline number of 2%. Then they went, all right, no. Instead, we want PCE core to be 2%, which, by the way, it's 4.7. So we got a ways to go, but it was like 8 million. So we're getting there. But now they're saying that they want it to be the super core, that's core minus shelter, to be 2%. So they keep shifting all over the place and the markets are confused. So if you're wondering why on earth have the inflation numbers gotten so much better, everything's hunky-dory, there were all these forecasts, we're supposed to have low rates by now, what the heck? And your clients are looking at you going, I'm not buying a house until I get a lower rate. That's approximately why. So the word on the street is buy anyway now, because what's going to happen is, first of all, we would need a 1.66 per month increase in inflation, which is really hard to get to. And so appreciation is going to win if you're going to compare, okay, is it better to buy now with a higher rate and miss out on that appreciation, or is it better to wait? So appreciation wins from everything that we're seeing. Would you agree? You're seeing the same things, right, Katey, Kevin?
Absolutely,
Well,
absolutely.
and I'm going to just add on to, I was listening to Bloomberg this morning. They were talking about the Fed can accomplish all their goals by just not doing anything at this point. No more lowering rates, no more raising rates, just keep it steady and they will accomplish all their goals.
But they are not, but they're inconsistent. So in
Well, listen, they have 400 PhDs working for the Fed.
Oh my God, that's my least favorite thing is that, are you kidding me? So in March of 2022, and I got this from Mr. Habib, Jerome Powell said, the best indicator of an onset of a recession, everyone take a shot, go, is if you take the expectation of the 3-month treasury bill 18 months from now and subtract where it is today. They expected it to be a 250 basis points change. And then when it inverts, that's a good sign of recession. It's now 150 basis points inverted, and it's been that way for a while. And no one's asking questions about that, because guess what? If you were in a press conference with Jerome Powell and you ask a question he doesn't like, guess what he does? You're booted. Literally, they ban you. So nobody's allowed to ask actual questions, which totally pisses me off. Speaking of pissing me off.
All right, so can we do the same thing in our show? So when people chat in stupid questions, we just boot them and all this,
There are no stupid questions. How could you say that? Good God. Okay.
Oh, you mean like asking the head of FHA questions about Fannie and Freddie?
Hey, that was an accident. That was an accident. None of the listeners could see it. It's fine.
I know.
There's another little thing that I just want to talk about briefly, and then we're going to get into 101 lead generation ideas. So as you know, when we were in Washington, D.C. in April, NAM dropped a trigger leads bill, right? And it did not have a co-sponsor at that point. It was very clear that we needed a Republican co-sponsor. So we said that over and over again. Believe me, we are not the only ones who said that over and over again. There was some other organization that tried to take credit for this, that went like they usually do, even though they had literally nothing to do with it. Whatever, who cares? All right. So moving to today or now, NBA just dropped, guess what? A trigger lead bill. And guess who sponsored it? A Republican. And I'm like, okay, first of all, the good news is we have another trigger lead bill, and there really is some interest in this and an appetite for this. And their whole thing is, hey, we dropped a bill that's going to make it so servicers, et cetera, can, make sure that they can still reach out to their borrowers, and those trigger leads are still okay. My gripe with this is, why aren't they all working together? Like, why is separate trigger lead bill? Why don't you just work with NAM, modify the one you got, like team up with these two guys, and let's move forward? But no. So bottom line is, I would support this one too, 100%, because we need a trigger lead bill, right? But good God, if we can encourage these ding dongs to work together, that would be ideal.
It's step by step. First, you get one party to introduce it. Then you get both parties to introduce two separate things. And then you get them to work together and create their own bill together. And then you get the Senate to pass it. And then you get this president to sign it.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be lovely if, I don't know, our industry would come together and stop acting like a bunch of little babies and try not to take the credit for everything. I mean, who cares? Let's just get it done. Okay, I'm going to stop. Obviously, I did not have sugar on my weed this morning. I apologize. So anyway, Katey,
Dirk and I are on the same page. I was just about to say that. All I could see is Schoolhouse Rock. That's all I could see. I'm like, I'm only a bill. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dirk, for posting that. I was thinking 100% the same thing. So thank you.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So all right, I'm going to stop whining and complaining about this. At least we have trigger lead bills. That's a good thing.
Hey, let's start with that.
But for God's sake, let's work together. That's my thing today. Okay, Katey, let's talk about lead generation, shall we? God knows we need to generate some leads. By the way, I would just like to note, I have 2 loans going to docs today. That's right. On the same day.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an abyss for a while.
I thought I had a good day. I had 3 referrals this morning. That's a pretty
good. That's a great day. What are you talking about? Great day. All right, lead generation, Katey. It's happening. People are busy.
It is. Well, and so here, things. And this is one thing I will caution all of you. Well, there's two things that just popped into my head. One, celebrate every win, guys. Right? There's a lot of doom and gloom. You get 3 referrals in a day. Like, I don't,
huge.
it doesn't matter to me what or how you celebrate. If that's, you take yourself out for your favorite coffee drink, if you do a happy dance. I mean, there's a whole philosophy of having always have a bottle of champagne chilling in the fridge just in case there's a champagne emergency. Like, if you need to have a champagne emergency, do it. But the idea is celebrate the little wins, because if you don't, resentment sets in. So, you know, especially a lot of people here have big goals and dreams, and it's like, oh, I'm not at my goal yet. You got to celebrate the little wins, or the momentum slows down. So, hey, I made 10 dials today. I went and did something for lead generation that's outside my comfort zone. That's a win. Celebrate, 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 celebrate. Particularly, God forbid, we're reading. I mean, you guys just quoted all of these different news sources. You know, as we know, the news is not like family had a lovely dinner and then went for a walk together. What a great evening. Film at 11, right? That doesn't happen, right? There's not simple, joyous things that are on the news. It's scary and doom and gloom. So making sure that you're celebrating the little wins is super important in this market. So as I'm talking to loan officers today, I'm going to share with you guys a lead generation. You guys are going to get a sneak peek on a lead generation class that I'm actually teaching on Thursday. And so when you send out the follow-up, I'll send you the link where you can share out to your realtors of like, hey, I got a sneak peek of this. If they want to join the free webinar on Thursday, where this is you guys an opportunity to do this. And here's the thing about lead generation in a shifting market. We have to do the stuff we don't want to do. The I don't wanna, doesn't matter. It's about doing the stuff you don't wanna. I don't wanna work this hard. I don't wanna do these things I get it. I'm doing them too. Everybody, all 3 of us. So Kevin and Audrey and I are all doing the I don't wanna stuff for lead generation.
Yeah.
And because it's the end goal is what we're working towards. And any new relationships you create with realtors in this market will set you up for the next 20 years.
I heard a great line from a top performing real estate agent. And he said that I make 10 phone calls to people I know every day. And then I make 10 phone calls to people I don't know every day. And he goes, that is the secret to my success.
Right. We're not building the space station here.
It's easy to make the ones you know.
Yep.
It's hard to make the ones you don't know.
And I know people that actually think the inverse. Like, if I call somebody I don't know, if they hang up on me, I don't care. Right. If I call somebody I know and they're like, why are you bothering me? Right. Don't you know,
I'm not the only one who's hung up on you when we've talked.
I would care.
So, okay, you got to remember, so just as a preamble to this mini class you guys are going to get. I was in corporate sales for 15 years before getting into real estate. Sold, you name it, I've sold it. I got hardcore Glengarry, Glen Ross kind of sales training. And if somebody hangs up on me, I call them back and say, oh, I'm so sorry. I think we got disconnected.
Oh my God. Oh my
I must have hit a spot. I think I hit a spot. My bad. Right. So that's the training I got. I said I went to Catholic school, so I learned how to sell in the 1st grade. I've been knocking on doors for 45 years now. So I've literally been door knocking since the age of 6, and I have no fear of it, because you do it for that. You do anything for that long, you don't get scared of it anymore. So let's jump into some lead generation. Are you allowing me to share the screen?
I pushed the button, so.
Well, there we go then.
Did it work?
Magic.
Hallelujah.
And we have magic. Let's see, magic from the beginning. There you go. Okay, so Audrey and Kevin, you guys remember this from last time. I love to be interrupted. Okay, please interrupt me.
So good.
I am not going to be monitoring the chat. So if you see questions in the chat, please interrupt me. Please stop me. Yes, I'm a professional speaker, which means I do love the sound of my own voice, just not that much. And so I enjoy the interaction. So please, please, please interrupt me, and it actually helps my brain. So my website, Coach Katey, Katey, my mother's gift. I have an Irish first name and an Italian last name, which means I like a loud fight. So there we go. Okay. So this is one thing. This actually says make money with the holidays. I need to change that to for the summer. So, but here's the idea about real estate agents that I want you guys to really understand. Being a real estate agent is an extraordinarily lonely job. It's lonely. They are looking for support. They are looking for help, and they don't know to come to their loan officer friends and business partners to ask for it. The question that every single realtor gets every day is, how's the market?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm going to be really careful about my soapbox here. And I think you guys may have heard me say this before. How's the market, or what are rates, is the international sign for book an appointment. Book
Great.
an appointment. I'm going to make this PG language, but book a appointment, right? Book it. Because the only difference between a cold lead and a hot lead is time. Nobody asks about the market. Nobody cares about the market. It's personal. I can Google rates. I can Google the average home price or the average sales price of things in my neighborhood. Not my neighborhood, my city. But if I really care about is my house. I live in a giant high-rise building, and depending on what floor you're on and what view you have, depends on what the value is. So if I look at the average price of a condo in my building, there's 500 units here. Who cares? I want to know about my specific unit. The home is most people's largest financial investment of their lives. And we say silly things like rates are up, rates are down, the market's slow, it's busy, it's not, there's not enough inventory. I always have time for your referrals. Stop doing that. Book an appointment. These are free leads. Realtors always want loan officers to help pay for like Zillow leads that take 18 months to come to fruition. The how's the market question is somebody's literally standing in front of you saying, hey, someday I might want to use your services. Could you provide value for me today?
Right.
Yes, I can. So help realtors with how's the market. Get into a relationship with realtors and say, hey, anytime somebody asks you how's the market, ask if they'd like an annual mortgage review and text me their info. Now you got two people following up on the same lead. Can you tell this is a soapbox for me? Just a little baby bit. So
A little bit.
all right. So this is what the 101 lead generation ideas. This is the idea to think about things differently. I'm not telling you to do all 101. I'm going to suggest today. I'm going to suggest something. The goal is to have maybe 2 or 3 things that maybe you haven't thought about pop off the page for you. I'm like, oh, I hadn't thought about that as a lead generation idea. And then each one of these 101 ideas can actually be a strategy in and of themselves. It's not, you're going to do one of these one time and go, see, I didn't get any leads out of it. It doesn't work. You've got to build a strategy around it. Okay. So I'm going to jump in and I'm going to move quickly because of our time. And so when you give me the 5-minute wrap up, Audrey, when we've got 5 minutes because I'm going to go through these slides fairly quickly. I'll be a little slower on my Thursday webinar, but this is the idea around salespeople. The best thing about getting leads from other salespeople is that you don't have to explain a sales business or referrals. Salespeople get it already. If you like to go look at brand new cars and it's fun for you, maybe you get car magazines, go visit car dealerships, go get to know the sales manager, the general manager, maybe work out a deal that when your clients move, they get a free car wash at XYZ dealership. What does the client do after they close, right? After they've moved, they get to go look at cars. Not before, after they get to go look at cars. And what are they doing while their car's getting a free car wash? They're in the showroom looking at new cars. They just bought a new house. I know I'm not the only one who bought a new house and then bought a new car like a month later, right? So this happens all the time. If you want to know how to work a great open house, spend time with car salespeople on the lot. They get more training about how to build rapport in the first 60 seconds than we ever do. So go learn from them, and then maybe you can bring some stuff to them. They do a terrible job of following up with their database. Horrible.
So do we.
And so do we. So maybe we can work on this together. What if we help build up leads for each other and drive business to each other? Furniture stores, same thing. If you like to look at furniture, you like to get new ideas, go get to the furniture. These are salespeople. Go talk to the apartment people. Builders, you guys, builders is such a huge opportunity for both realtors and loan officers. The number one thing that builders tell me is loan officers are inconsistent. They said a loan officer will come in and be all excited and they build great rapport, and then they don't see that loan officer again for 3 months. And there's no rapport. So go every week. The strategy for new construction is go to a builder once a week, every week for 10 weeks, and you'll get business. If
Oh.
you miss a week, you have to start over.
Wow.
Once a week, every week for 10 weeks. And I have a friend of mine, I coached her on this 5 years ago. She's calling me on visit number 7, basically yelling at me about what a stupid thing this is. Why am I going here? This is the 7th time in a row. I feel like an idiot. She's like, I'm gonna go bring him like snacks or something. And I just feel dumb coming. It's the 7th time and I've gotten any business. They're not. And 2 weeks later, she got 3 leads and hasn't stopped since. She has consistent.
What about new
business.
construction who already have lenders in there? What do you do with that?
You get all the reject business
Okay, there you go.
because your
Get
worst
the
case
what business?
scenario is
The reject
No.
business?
reject.
Okay, yeah.
All
No,
the
I love
decline.
rejects. I live on reject business.
Yeah, Kevin specializes in rejects.
Well, it's the land of misfit toys, right? So, you know, so the builder is like, look, my worst case scenario is you also say no. Like, hey, Kevin, this is a decline from our in-house loan officer. If you can do some magic, awesome. If not, they're not in any worse situation, right? You're helping them sell a home. The clients love you. And sometimes I'll even throw in some of the incentives because their own in-house lender doesn't do it. It's a negotiation piece. Like, hey, we can put this together, but if you can use some of these incentives to buy down their rate, to do this, to do that, then we can put this together. Assisted living facilities, if you don't think some people that work at assisted living facilities are salespeople, think again. They are absolutely selling families on taking care of their loved ones. All right. And people have choices when it comes to these. If you like old people, go volunteer. Be the bingo drawer. Host the karaoke night. They would love to have you there. If you like working with elderly, helping people transition from grandma's home, doing estate sales, you love that stuff, then that's the place for you.
Well, especially the assistant living places where you have to buy into the unit, those are phenomenal. There's several of those in San Francisco, the big office tower or big.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
And they cost like anywhere from minimally $250,000 to $1 million to buy in. And where do they get that money? They have to either sell their house, which is not ready for, or come to me, get a loan, take the cash out, buy into the place, and then they list the place and sell it.
Yep. Yeah, so go make friends with the director of these assisted living places or senior living communities, and volunteer. They need all the help they can get. They would love to have you there and be consistent. Again, don't go one time and go, oh, it didn't work. Create a whole strategy I have a friend who was to visit assisted living facilities where his mom was living and was like basically a fixture there and volunteered and so they loved it. They love it. They love it. They love it. And please tell dirty jokes. The people in the assisted living facility love the dirty jokes. That's their favorite part. So
those places are, I got into an elevator in an assisted living place and it was like I walked into a party.
Oh, totally.
I was like, oh my God, these people are just having fun all day long. It's great.
My grandmother lived in one, and I looked at it, I'm like, this is like college with no classes. I'm in. Like, what's the age minimum? Like, I'm in. Like, how fast can I get here? This is so me. I'm in. So yeah. So, and then this is more of a realtor class, but just when you're talking and meeting people, it's like, I'm the best loan officer in town. I know the best realtor in town. Because if someone talks about the best, who doesn't at least pick up the phone? It's like, well, this person I got the referral. This person's the best. Okay. I guess I should have a conversation. Personal interest. This is not one of those fake it till you make it. This is, if any one of these things showed up for you of like, oh, I love going to car shows. I love biking clubs. I go to the gym. People tell their life story to personal trainers. Deep, dark secrets that nobody knows, the personal trainer knows. For whatever reason, I know people that get a ton of leads just hanging out at the gym and wearing their shirt that says what mortgage company they work for, what real estate company they work for. Maybe you and a realtor work out together wearing your shirts and you're having conversations every day. Just book a lot of time for hanging out at the gym and having those conversations. Get to know all the trainers, get to know the salespeople. And maybe doing a little Facebook Live or videos with the salespeople for your particular gym. Like, hey, there's a special going on right now, or there's a free class, come and use the facility for free. Or you can make it fun, just be consistent. Get involved with your college alumni association. throw a poker party. The bunco parties are another one to do. Whatever you are naturally attracted to doing, be consistent with it.
So
and
you're
have
saying
fun.
some people would be attracted to past spouses?
Well, that's a, see, I always thought I wanted to see if anybody catches that one. So thank you for catching it, Kevin. The idea is that, look, if you have to make some sort of payments to a past spouse or have, child support, your past spouse might be motivated to make sure that you have business to pay some of those bills, right? So, but it is a personal interest.
So maybe some of us should go get some past spouses, I say.
I'm not advising that.
So Katie is endorsing past spouses. Okay, there is a comment here from someone who says builder salespeople are told not to refer out unless it's their preferred lender. And what you're saying is you're not asking for their A-paper business that they can do. You're asking for, hey, I can do some funky subprime or private money or whatever, right?
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Not subprime. God, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, that was a flashback.
Wow, I'm having a woof. All right, keep going.
No, I am saying that, like, when somebody gets declined, like, they are not. Yes, they have to, because they have it on a piece of paper. These are our preferred lenders,
right?
Because those preferred lenders are tied to the incentives, right? They are perfectly happy to give out your contact information, or if anything, they'll. The other piece of that is that this is a whole strategy, which I didn't get into, is building relationships with the preferred lender. So if Audrey is the preferred lender at Builder XYZ, and I get involved, I get in a relationship with Audrey and she's doing all the A-paper stuff. I'm like, look, if you got anything that gets declined by your company, refer it to me. And then when I talk to the buyer and to the sales rep at the builder, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are so lucky to have Audrey as your person to be, working with you. She's amazing. I'm part of her team. So you make it look, you edify the preferred lender. There's no reason to, like, oh, I can't believe they didn't do this. Like, no, we're working together, because there's not one mortgage company that does all loans, right? There are all sorts of exceptions out there. So if I now have a relationship with the sales reps and with the primary lender, and they're throwing me everything, so then there's not a thing of like, oh, it's not competition, it's cooperation.
Right. There you go.
But just have fun. This is one of the things of have fun, but have a mindset of this is lead generation. Pay attention when you are volunteering at a charity event, when you're in a running club, poker parties, and listen to conversations where people are talking about promotions, weddings, moving great grandma to assisted living. Real life happens. People buy and sell real estate for the time of their life, not timing the market. This is when these places, all right here, is where these conversations happen. So just be thinking about, okay, I am going to go to this my running club, and I'm going to pay attention and listen for 2 different people that I need to follow up with, and just pay attention. And after those 2 people got that in your head, and then enjoy yourself, enjoy the run, enjoy the poker game. I mean, have fun. Happy people sell more stuff.
Yeah. I know an insurance agent, top real estate agent, he does triathlons, and he goes, and I'm like, where do you find the time of the day to do triathlons? He goes, listen, it's my best source of business, because people who do triathlons are usually very successful, and they have the time to run the triathlons, and therefore they have the money to do what other things they want to do, and therefore they need my services.
Right.
So if you all start out running triathlons, what do you think?
Yeah, triathlons, that's a commitment, man. The training alone is a commitment. That's incredible. Okay, this is the one about kids. If you don't like children, take a little mini nap. I personally don't like children. I don't like children as an entity. I have 3 of my own. My children who I could discipline, great. Other people's children, I would have a little challenge. So I was very active in the PTA because it was grown-ups. So when the kids were little, I was very, very active at PTA. This may shock some of you. I did all the MC stuff. So I MC'd every auction, holiday party, the talent show, wherever there was a stage and a microphone, I was there. And I also did tons of fundraising for the school as well. Go on field trips. Look, if you love kids and being in the classroom and volunteering and get to know all the parents and being the room mom or room dad, go for it. It is a huge opportunity to build relationships, and everybody knows who you are and what you do, right? You don't always need to have necessarily I'm a realtor t-shirt on. Occasionally do it so that they're like, oh, I didn't know you were a realtor. Or, you can just talk about plans for the weekend. Oh, what are your plans for the weekend? My plans for the weekend. Oh, I'm doing an open house. You should come by. It's going to be right around the corner. Maybe you're not friends that want to live in the neighborhood. It's how you can build this into conversation. If you were active in band or sports or anything like that, and it really was important to you as a kid, go volunteer, be a volunteer coach, volunteer to like make the copies for the band. That was, my kids were in junior high band. And that was the #1 request, was like, can somebody make copies of stuff for us? And I was like, can I put my logo on the corner? He's like, absolutely.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
cool. Right. You know,
Yeah.
compliments of, right. That's it.
Yeah, no, I miss having kids in grade school and middle school, because that was like the best. All the parents would come to me for their loans, especially I was the coach for the different sports. And
Well, here's the thing, go be a coach. Like, I have friends of mine whose kids are long past being in the school, but they loved coaching football or basketball, or you know, helping to support like the band or the choir was something that was really important to them when their kids were there, or even for their own experience. Go volunteer. If you liked coaching, go coach and get to know the parents. And I mean, they build relationships with you, right? Our job is to make friends and then to help our friends make good decisions.
I was room mom for my 2 kids who were in this, my 2 younger ones were in the same grade. I was room mom for both of them. And I got so much business from that. I was on the swim team board, and now it's all over. They're in college. And so, you know, how do you replace that? And, you know, I think it'd be a little awkward if I showed up
more kids.
at school saying, hey, can I hang out?
It's not, actually, it's not awkward at all, Audrey. Actually, go to the school, meet the principal and say, where do you need help? Like, this is my skill set. Where do you need volunteers? I have I know an agent, actually, we both know her, Audrey, that she goes to her alma mater elementary school once a month.
Really?
And brings lunch for the teachers.
Really?
Yeah, every month.
That? I'm going to see her on Friday. I'm going to smack her for not. I'm guessing who it is. Yeah. Well, that's a good idea. I volunteered at a high school once, an underserved high school, and it was interesting because, man, I'd go in and do my thing and get out. There were no opportunities, but there are ways. You're absolutely right to get in there, and the schools actually need help.
Oh, they need it.
Totally
they need
true.
it.
Yeah.
And you can do things of like, when you do a closing, you donate to the school fund, or I mean, there are so many ways to get involved with the schools, particularly if you both are both saying, oh, I love being involved with the school. Don't keep going then. Just because your kids aren't there anymore doesn't mean they don't need you. And it would be really valuable. So get to know the teachers and the principals. They know about time of life situations often before the kids do. Right? If there's a divorce or a move,
I really appreciate this, because again, I did, teachers and parents, and you're totally right. Okay. All right. Good reminder. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stop then. Okay, good. Next slide, about be visible. All right. For those of us of a certain age that used to watch Cheers, and Norm would come in and everybody would say, Norm. Thank you, Audrey.
You're welcome.
So the idea is to be Norm somewhere. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, Google it. Google Cheers and Norm, and then you will see that. And we all have those places where you walk in the door. I actually was there on Sunday at my place, where I open the door. There's a waiting list of people to be seated. They see me and go, "There's a table right over there." Like, I never have to put my name down on the waiting list, right? Ever.
Audrey's like that all the time, even the first time she goes to a place.
Right, because she just is, because she's Audrey, of course. So the idea is to be a familiar face somewhere, right? And that's being visible. People don't know what we do as loan officers and real estate agents. We have to show them. We have to do posts about what we're doing on social media. Most people are watching to see if we're going to stick it through. A huge amount of loan officers and real estate agents have already left the business. Remind people that we're still doing it. I've been in real estate for almost 20 years. I still laugh when I get the question, are you still in real estate? Like, yeah, I'm like, I post about it all the time. Like,
they do. Okay, on that note, I was gonna say, do you know that 31% of the people in our industry, in the mortgage industry, are planning to leave the industry in the next year, and another 15% aren't sure what they're gonna do? And so, that means that there's a lot of opportunity to fill a lot of holes. And B, make sure you're out there letting people know, because it's weird. People do ask that. I mean, they don't ask a doctor if they're still a doctor, but I've been doing this for 34 freaking years, and they're like, are you still doing it? I'm like, what? Hello? Of course I'm still doing it. I'm not working it. Okay, I'm not going to say a name of anything that I might offend someone. Anyway, and then there was another thing that I noticed. 60% of mortgage people are living paycheck to paycheck, to which I'd say, no shit. But with that, we have opportunities because there is a lot of movement. And then the other thing too is, if you moved, let people know, like us, like, if you change companies, tell us you have a new email address. Otherwise, you're going to fall off the list and we won't be able to find
You
you.
don't send it out once, you have to send it out many times.
Yes,
You do.
agreed.
So yeah, good reminder, Katie.
So be visible on social media, be visible wherever you shop. Like every time you're at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, and these are places, I see people hang out at Trader Joe's. It cracks me up, right? So, I mean, just like chit chat, and I mean, that's like, it's a small little grocery store, so people are like chit-chatting, having conversations, and it's just, it makes me laugh. I'm like, okay.
Wait, are you sure they don't just do this in Hawaii? I mean,
no, there's no Trader Joe's in Hawaii. We don't have Trader Joe's here. I think it's hilarious that in Trader Joe's they wear Aloha shirts, but we don't have them in Hawaii. So everybody, like, whenever you go to the mainland, everybody's like, oh, when you go to Trader Joe's, like, you almost have to bring an extra suitcase for things you're going to bring back from Trader Joe's. So
okay, I'm going to read some of the comments really quick. Okay. So somebody said offer to have a party at a daycare center, do a party for a bridal dress shop. That's not a bad idea. If those,
I'm going to talk about bridal shows. Bridal shows are on the list.
Yeah. So somebody was saying they did cafeteria and recess duty. It was fun. I love doing all that stuff. Someone said offer a summer party for luxury apartment community to get future buyers. That's a good idea. Especially, there's so many places around here where rents are, you can rent a lovely 2-bedroom place for $6,000 a month. And it's like, holy crap, why don't you buy a house? Right. So anyway, and then somebody else made the comment, Jill said that she heard that 60,000 plus realtors have left the business so far in 2023. Holy guacamole.
How do they know they've left the business? Because
they didn't renew
their licenses. So
I mean, they only renew every 4 years in California. I don't know about the other states, but
all this is opportunity. That's all this is. Opportunity.
Right. The idea is to just be visible, and so people know who you are, what you do, and how much you love it. So one of the things I have done here is restaurant, Starbucks, with the back of the laptop. Put stickers on the back of your laptop that say what you do. Oh. Right. If you're a realtor, put a sold sign up, or put a sticker about ask me what it rates. There, put the name of your company if it's a if it's a household name, or something that says mortgage or loans on it or something like that. So put something on the back of your laptop that while you're working at Starbucks, people know what you do, and they can ask you, hey, I see you're a mortgage person, or you're a loan officer. I have a question. Go to Starbucks and drop $100 and pay $100 worth of coffee for people, and sit there and watch all the activity. And it's like paying for people's drive-through behind you. It's super fun. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna buy my coffee, and I'm gonna buy the next $100 of the people behind me in line. And then all this excitement happens, and people come over and talk to you. It's fun. But have stuff on the back of your laptop that not only says what you do, but also what you like to talk about. Like, if you're a Trekkie, Strange New Worlds just released season 2. All my Trekkie friends are all talking about that. Put a Star Trek thing up there. If you're if you're really into a certain sports team, put that sticker on the back. I'm Italian. I'd probably put the Italian flag on there because I like to speak Italian. So anybody who wants to speak Italian with me, I'm in. So it's like, put pictures on there where it makes you approachable, and let them know what you do and that you'd be happy to chat with them about it. And even have your business card sitting on the edge of the table. As people are like, oh, you got your business cards out? Look, stop doing marketing material, email from home or in the office. Get in the path of business. Go be where people are. That means a restaurant, Starbucks, Dairy Queen, the golf course. Go be a fourth on a golf in a golf course. That means you're spending 4 to 5 hours with 3 other people. They are trapped with you. They get to talk about real estate at some point during that time. And every person knows 7 to 8 people that are going to buy and sell real estate this year. So you spend time getting to know them. They get to know you. You get their contact information. Hey, is it okay if I put you in my database? I'm going to send you an email. I always let people know I'm going to send you 2 emails a month, and I'm going to call you once a quarter just to check in.
Right.
And if something else happens between now and the next 3 months, here's my number. Give me a call. Happy to answer any questions about the largest financial investment of your life, which is your home.
Yep.
Okay. Be visible. Okay. This is something that I think you guys need to know that I teach to realtors, and I will be teaching this again, is I teach loan officer or realtors how important it is to be in relationship with the people that help support them in their business. And their number one asset is their loan officer. A lot of real estate agents think about loan officers as somebody who's a bit interchangeable.
Yeah.
And some of that is your fault. I love you. Some of that's your
Totally.
fault.
Yes.
So you need to show them the value of how you can help support both of your businesses.
Mhm.
Having a loan officer partner makes 1 + 1 = 3. I say it again, being a real estate agent can be an extraordinarily lonely business.
So
When
I
you
actually had interesting story on that and just how to help your realtors, because I had a real estate agent got a great listing where it's but it has to sell by the end of the month. It has to be in contract by the 28th. It's foreclosure and it's probate and complicated, but it's fix and flip. And so she let me know, hey, I've got this thing, needs to sell pretty quick. And I said, do you mind if I call other real estate agents and tell them about it also? And she goes, oh no, I need to know, have the whole world to know about this one. I'm like, fine. So I start calling all my real estate contacts, say, hey, I got a great lead on if you've got any clients looking for this, just want to give you a heads up. And they were all thankful. And I go, and by the way, do you know any contractors that might be interested? I'd be happy to talk to them about how they could do it. And then I started talking to different contractors. It was amazing, just talking to the realtors, then talking to the contractors and bouncing back and forth, all from this one listing that led to other referrals and other stuff. I had one real estate agent say, hey, I'm in the middle of a fix and flip myself, and I need a sheetrock contractor. Well, I knew that my cousin had just finished a huge job, needed sheetrock. Hey, who is your sheetrock contractor? Boom, called them right back. And I'm just putting everybody together. And sure enough, then I started getting referrals. It was crazy.
Oh, weird.
Huh.
You're nice to people. You get stuff. It's kind of a concept, right? We need to provide, we in the mortgage community need to provide value for realtors and showing them how we can provide that value. And some of it is just being a friend. Like if I'm a realtor and I just beat out 3 other agents for this amazing listing, I'm not going to go back to my office and brag about how that just happened, because maybe one of those people is in my office, or that's like, it sends a wrong message inside of your office. You're not going to brag about stuff like that, though you want to celebrate because you're so excited. You got this great listing, and who do you call to celebrate? Who gets it? Your loan officer.
Right.
Will actually even go out and celebrate with you. Right. And by the way, if you've never been on a listing presentation with a realtor, I highly recommend you go do that. It is how to become a listing lender, which is a whole nother class. But if you want to be a listing lender, you go out on the listing appointment with the realtor. One, you edify the realtor, you tell the sellers, oh my gosh, you're so lucky to be working with this amazing realtor. 2, you answer any questions they have about what they're going to do with the proceeds. Is it enough money? What's going on with them? Are they looking to move up, move down? Are they going to move into their vacation home? This is the proceeds. And thirdly, talk about what it's like in the mortgage industry today, because God knows how long it's been since they've even, said the word mortgage. And so this is what I buy and sell real estate on a regular basis, and I still need a refresher from time to time. Right? I'm like, wait, what's going on now? What are the new guidelines? What's happening?
If we're in the business, we still need a refresher.
Of course we do, because we can't see the picture from inside the frame. It's not, when it's not our deal, it's different, right?
Right now, debt consolidation and move up are a big deal. Like you've got to catch them before they get into it, so that you can explain to them, maybe you should pay off all your debt and put a smaller down payment or something like that. Or do it, and then doing debt consolidations and refis. You've got to do the math for your borrowers, whether it's on a refi or a purchase, no matter what they're saying. So this, again, Kevin and I are going to talk a little bit about the conference we were at last week when you're done. But I mean, you've got to make a case for why should we exist. There's a good reason, but people are thinking, oh, we can replace you with a computer. No, you cannot. So, and Jill made the point that there are still realtors out there who think that lenders come into things late in the game, and we should be the first ones who are talking to them, because you got to strategize. This is not, everybody fits the same mold. It's not the same for everyone. You've got to make sure that you are doing your homework, and not, you can't just take orders. Don't just take orders.
Nope, you got to be a business partner and a strategist. And 70% of sellers are also buyers. So go on listing appointments. Go on listing appointments. And then also let the sellers know, look, I'm going to review all the offers as they come in to make sure that you are accepting the most valid offer that makes, and I'll even call the loan officer working with that particular buyer, just to, we're going to speak loan officer to each other just to validate that this is legit. And then what happens that you're in the backup situation. If something goes off the rails, who decides? The loan officer when something's going crazy? It's the listing agent. So, and it's my favorite thing when the realtor's like, oh, I'm a listing agent, I don't need to work with a loan officer. And I train loan officers and coach loan officers, say, great, I'm a listing lender, we need to get together. And realtors are like, wait, what? And then as soon as you start explaining your value at a listing appointment and how you can support their listings, they get it. And then I decided about it.
Just in case people haven't picked up on this and you haven't been on one of Coach Katey's sessions before, she does coaching. You can sign up with her for coaching. I've talked to many people who do coaching with her, and they love her. So it is definitely a good thing. And just point of interest, Eric posted nice hair. Now, Kevin always gets all the comments on how he looks so
I
good.
don't think I got that one from Eric.
I want to know who's getting the hair comment. Is it me, Katey, or Kevin? Probably Kevin, Katey. Let's just assume at this point. I'm assuming
he's got the quaff going.
His hair, but we'll see. Anyway, so if you could please clarify, that'd be great. Okay, keep going.
Okay, this is not necessarily specific to loan officers, though it is interesting that in the mortgage community, you guys refer business to each other all the time, which I love, and realtors don't do that in their own community. So I really work with realtors on how can they get referrals from agents outside of their area and to attend events. And to create a whole database of other realtors. Now, this can help you, particularly if you're licensed in other states, and say, hey, I've got relationships with other realtors that might be good referral business for you back and forth. Realtors usually get about a 25% referral fee when they send a client to another state or another area. That's the reason I keep my license active, is because I like referral checks. They're like magical mailbox money. And so it's a way for them to get into relationship and to build a separate database that's just for other realtors that they market to for potential referrals, right? To either give or receive. So that's, and I said the one on here on the bottom there does more apply to loan officers. You guys teach and train, but don't talk about rate and term and products. Like talk about things like if you're using HomeBot or Mortgage Coach or Sales Boomerang or List Reports, and teach about here's some tech tools that I'm using to do more with less, right? Leveraging technology to get face-to-face. Realtors will say all the time, oh, I'm not techie. If you've ever logged into the MLS, I don't know if any of you on this call have ever logged into the MLS in any state, it's like writing code. The MLSs are so behind in technology, it's insane. And so realtors are like, oh, I'm not techie. I'm like, well, if you've ever logged into the MLS, you're more techie than I am. Because that's just, you have to do all these code work. It's crazy. So they actually know more about tech than they think. And if you could help them with the technology piece, that's super, super helpful.
Okay, so I don't know if you're noticing, we have somebody named Rika who has put so many good comments in here about different ideas. I'm like, it's okay. So one of them was hand out water bottles at your farm with your name and info at a farmer's market in your neighborhood. That's a great idea, right? I mean, especially if it's warm out. And make sure your NMLS number's on it, just FYI, on everything. Everything you're doing, NMLS number. Katey always forgets that part, but it's really, really important. NMLS.
Well, realtors too. Realtors are supposed to have their Department of Real Estate number on all of their stuff too, and lots of people forget. So yes, we're all supposed to have our any license. I talked to a contractor today. Like license information has to be on everything. So if you have a
Oh,
license,
yeah,
put it on
and-
something.
And Charlie
Yeah.
said also the equal housing lender logo. He's totally right about that. And
Oh,
remember, we've talked about this in the past, like how big it needs to be has to do with what size your ad is and blah, blah, blah. So
oh Lord.
make sure all this stuff,
Okay, this
especially
is
this
all the
stuff.
advertising stuff. I'm not a huge fan of advertising. It's very passive lead generation. I do put it on here because people talk to me about it. These have to be in collaboration with active lead generation. Active lead generation is voice to voice, face to face, which is all the things we've been talking about up till now. Passive lead generation is email, advertising, or it's one-way communication. Not a huge fan. If it does support your active lead generation, it makes sense. I make a joke about the shopping carts. I think they're ridiculous. And at the same time, I know agents that farm an area and they're like, I don't, and the neighborhood grocery store is where all of their farm shops. So they're going to pay for the shopping cart because they want the people to see their faces at the grocery store as much as they see their faces in marketing material when they farm that area. So I get that. That's the part I get. Okay, this is one of my catch-all things because I had no idea where to put this. So I put all these different things that I call alliances. These are people that are dealing, or their clients are clients that have time of life situations. The hair and nail salon is just the same as like the personal trainer. They know everybody's personal secrets. Mine is because of my nail salon person. So go figure.
My acupuncturist was one of my best referral sources until she retired. Because she just talked to her.
Probably add that on there. People that work at Goodwill, people are cleaning out their houses and they're donating stuff, right? What's that's like, oh, you're thinking about moving? Divorce attorneys, obviously. I know a realtor here, actually, he works and lives in Waikiki, and he loves to work with divorcing clients. I was like, you're insane. But he loves it. He said, I like helping them to start their next chapter.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, I thought so too. CPAs, churches, we know all of these different groups. Just get into relationship with these people. People is a time of their life, not timing the market. Okay. I mean, yes, there is a percentage of people that do time the market and are looking for the fix and flips and things like that. Most people do not. The lion's share of people buy and sell real estate because of the time of their life. All of these things are time of their life experiences. Parties. I believe everything is a party. I'm a big fan of baklava, so that's why it's on this one. Have a party. You guys, I had a realtor once said that she would do a dinner party every Friday night, just invite different people, but tell the same real estate stories. Right? Tell the same stories to different people. Nobody knows. They don't compare notes after. What story did she tell you? Like, no, that's not what happens, right? You tell one real estate related question while you pass out the appetizers, and then you let the evening take on a life of its own and just enjoy a dinner party. I believe open houses are parties, and I have a whole class just on having an open house party. That's not enough time for today, but come up with any reason to have a party. I love having parties. I'm a party person. Now, not everybody is a party person. Cool, then this probably isn't for you. So that's okay. Just if you like parties, have them, have lots of them. Invite different people, but tell the same stories and watch what happens. Like, this is a contact sport. This is absolutely a contact. Technology, you have your business page. You guys, we all know about videos. Here's the trick on videos. I'm doing it right now. I'm talking into the camera. When you talk to the camera, talk to one person. So I'm talking to Audrey right now. And like, Audrey, when you do videos, make sure you know where the camera is on your phone, on your iPad, because a lot of people do one of these and they're not actually looking at the camera, but they're looking at the picture, or I'm looking at Audrey's picture on the side of my screen versus actually looking in Audrey's eyes, which is the camera right in front of me, right?
Yep.
And think of one person that you can do. So, and you have some fun. The great idea of, I don't know what to post about. Whatever question you get regularly that week, do that as a video.
I'm just going to say, if you are listening to us every week, you always have something to talk about. I mean, even when the title says 101 lead generation ideas, we're always sticking in little tidbits that you can share with realtors, share with your clients. That's what this is all about. So, I mean, don't be confused by our titles.
Okay, I got 2 more slides. This one and one more, and then I know we've got to go. I gotta go.
Go.
Okay, the neighborhood. that if you're going to farm a neighborhood, these are things you can do in collaboration with your realtors. They may not have thought of all of these things. Particularly, I know this, the dreaded, I've seen it right here. Everyone's like, no, don't make me call FSBOs. This is what I'm hearing from realtors. I don't want to call for sale by owners. I'm like, good. If you just said, I don't want to, that means it goes into your call list, because the I don't wannas are things that you need to be doing right now. Go knock on doors. Look, expired listing and FSBOs, they hate realtors. They're mad at them. We as an industry did not serve them. We owe them an apology first. I'm so sorry that, one, you don't trust us enough to list your home with us, or two, you had an experience with a listing agent who struggled in communicating with you and we failed you. I'm sorry. So if you're working with a realtor that's going to be doing expireds and for sale by owners and needs a strategy around it and talking about the financial aspect of it, you can be in collaboration with them. Go door knocking, go door knock together. It's so much fun to door knock together. Do you guys both knock on doors? And maybe you're talking about refinances. It's not even in this, though I will talk about it because of you guys. This is my another soapbox. Reverse for purchase is my all-time favorite listing opportunity, hands down.
There's actually another great opportunity. That is to do a ridge with the reverse.
Oh, love it.
Love it. You get 2 deals out of 1.
Well, and realtors don't know how it works. I sat down with somebody who's on the board of the Honolulu Board of Realtors yesterday. She's very influential. And I was talking to her about reverse for purchase. And she's like, wait, what? And I drew it out. I'm like, this is how this works. And she's like, oh, this is awesome. She's like, how come I don't know about this? I'm like, I don't know. And then she's like, well, what reverse person do you work with? And I told her the name. She goes, I went to high school with her. I'm calling her right now.
Wow.
So, and the two of them got connected. So, I mean, when you go door knocking, you get to have those conversations with great grandma who hasn't been upstairs since the knee surgery or since her balance started being an issue. She doesn't go upstairs anymore and doesn't want to sell. Anyway, you guys know what I need to do. Go to parades, post garage sales, door knock professional buildings around the farm. Go to the mall. Those people are trapped. They have to be at work. They're behind the counter. They're trapped. They have to talk to you. So, and same with office buildings. If you're going to do an open house, door knock the office buildings nearby. Hey, would you like to live closer to work?
Yeah.
What are you paying in rent? All these kinds of things. So it's all around the neighborhood. And so particularly this is a great strategy to go collaborate with realtors that have a farm and ask them, oh, I get a lot of business in farming. If you ask them questions about each of these things, are you doing any or all of these? Would you like support of this? They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I never even thought about half these. And get involved, and they get overwhelmed. Like, I don't want to do this all by myself, but if I have a buddy, right, we're gonna do this together. Oh, how fun is that? Right? Did I mention it's a lonely business?
Yeah, everyone has more fun if there's more. Oh, good Lord, go quick.
I told you, this is my last slide. Go have fun. Go to seminars, do first-time homebuyer seminars. If you're not single, don't go to the singles organizations. That's embarrassing. But wedding conventions. If you like crazy people, go do a wedding convention and have fun with it. Okay. Okay.
So I quickly want to throw a few things in there. First of all, where do they sign up for Thursday? How do we do that?
Go to coachkatey.com. It's on the website.
Perfect. Okay, so guys, I want to let you know about some upcoming speakers, one in particular, because we can't record it and post it. So remember that we have a YouTube page, and although we were a little behind on getting them posted, I think they'll all be posted by today. Next week, we have Dave Stevens. He is one of our favorite, most interesting speakers in that he's so connected. He has such a depth of information. Contact Sandra Thompson with FHFA calls him when there are issues. So it's always really, really interesting to hear from him. We have we have to take the 4th off, sadly, because there is a holiday. Then the next week we're going to have $1 billion producer. The week after that, we are going to be talking private money with the private money guy in the industry, Leonard Rosen. And then at the end of July, we have Mark McCardle with the CFPB. He is one of our favorite guests. He's so smart, but funny and informational. I mean, he's got a million things to talk about.
He's the one who will not be on YouTube.
he will not be on YouTube. So I want you to mark your calendars right now for Tuesday, July 25th, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 o'clock Eastern time, or wherever you might land in our lovely country. So with that, make sure that you've got that written down. And I will save the other things that we have to talk about for next week. We ran out of time again, Kevin.
How it happened. Katie, you just like you sucked up all the hour and like went by in
That's
like
so
2
weird.
minutes.
That never
It
happened.
was
Yeah.
so fast. So thank you very, very much. We love
Thank you.
We
And,
love
and I'll
having
send
fun.
you out the links to everything so that when you send out, and I'll do a PDF of the whole presentation so you can look through those things as well.
Yeah, yeah. So coachkatey.com, and we will see you next time, Katie. We love you. Mwah. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
week.
Bye.